Hi Capricorn, welcome to your monthly reading for April. So I have a lovely earthy green background because the energy for Capricorn is quite frantic this month. What I mean by that is Mars is in your sign, your ruler Saturn is still in your sign, and that can make you feel incredibly powerful, and it can also make you feel incredibly exhausted. We just had a blue moon in Libra, which was very, very, very harsh, and it is also in a cardinal sign, so it was squaring off with you. And then we have the sun in Aries squaring off with you, and it's making you feel kind of 1 minute like you can take on the world and take on anyone, like you can take on an army, and the next minute you're just feeling like you couldn't take on a game of Jenga. That type of energy. You're just feeling very frantic. You also have Mars in Aries, which is again squared energy. It's retrograde, and it's your house of family and home. So your communication with your family may be a little bit off. You may be dealing with some unresolved issues with family. There may be miscommunications going on. People may be arguing and bickering. Similarly, it can be to do with who you live with, people like that. But on the plus side, we have Venus in Taurus in your 5th house of true love. So romantically, this is actually looking like a very lovely month. Yeah. 4 of Wands, romance, stability in love and relationships. So, your relationships are actually well aspected in most areas, and then in terms of family communications, there can be a little bit of back and forth. Sometimes just going over unresolved issues with people that you're closest to. But certainly that feeling of 1 minute feeling like a titan, and the next minute feeling like the Titanic, it's definitely going to be a bit up and down this month. So see what we've got for you, Capricorn. So we have the Queen of Pentacles, so this is your energy, this is you. Then we are crossed by the Ace of Pentacles. So already I'm seeing a little bit of issue in terms of jobs, job opportunities, new jobs, that type of thing. We have the 9 of Swords in the past, we have the 3 of Swords in the past, so separation, distance, pain over something, a little bit of anguish. 4 of Pentacles crowning, so what you're holding on to. 4 of Swords is that Mars energy I was referring to. So it's needing to take a rest when you have to, feeling a little bit sleep deprived with the 9 of Swords here, and being a little bit anxious about things, or particularly feeling a little bit drained, is coming up here for you. Page of Cups, Death card, Emperor, and the 5 of Pentacles. And underneath we have the 5 of Swords. So this is exactly the astrological expectation I was seeing. So we'll move the camera here so you can see. So yeah, this Mars energy, we even have the Emperor coming up here. Okay, so he's Aries, he's the Emperor, he rules his own empire, very strong. This is what you're hoping for, your hopes and expectations. But what's actually happening here is you're charging forward too fast, too much, and trying to get too much done. So there's a bit of a frantic energy going on here. Life is not a battle, but when Mars is in your sign, you can feel this surge of energy, and as soon as you felt this surge, you get sick or something. Mars is kind of it's a strange one to have in your sun sign, because you have this absolute surge of energy when it first moves in, and then you can get run down very quickly. You're taking on too much, you feel like a dynamo, and then boom, you've exploded. So the 5 of Swords here and the 5 of Wands even underneath that is suggesting to me that there is a bit of bickering and a bit of conflict going on in your interpersonal relationships, but with Venus moving into your 5th house, this really is sort of putting oil on troubled water. It's calming things down a bit, provided you're able to let go of past hurts and maybe possibly let go of very regimented expectations and just enjoy people for what they are. I'm feeling like with the Mercury transit, there's a lot of miscommunications going on for everyone. There's a lot of things that people are saying that aren't coming across correctly. There's a lot of things that people have said that could be interpreted as aggressive when they're not aggressive. Do you know what I mean? With Mercury going retrograde in Aries, just thank God you're not a fire sign, because they're really every Mercury retrograde is in a fire sign this year. But you're certainly concerned about something in the workplace. So your relationships in the workplace may seem a little bit off due to the taint of Mercury retrograde, but you may also be a little bit concerned about what your position is in your current job or where you want to go. So you may feel like you don't want a massive change, but you're not entirely sure what it is that you need in terms of your work environment and what it is in terms of you need to feel fulfilled, and you're feeling a little bit out in the cold in your community here. I know that Jupiter is retrograding through Scorpio, which is your house of friendships, etc. And you may be feeling a little bit left out in terms of a friendship group, just with the energies I'm getting here. And you may be feeling like you need to take a little bit of time out for yourself. Like you need a little bit of me time is what I'm thinking, Capricorn. You sort of surrounded yourself with a lot of miscommunications and a bit of issue here. And you're finding it very hard to let go of something, whether it's someone or it's an expectation or it's an idea. So let's see, messages for Capricorn, messages for Capricorn, messages for Capricorn. Two of Pentacles. So there's a juggling act going on. You may be finding it hard to juggle your career and your friendships, your social life. You may be finding that the two are potentially not only juggling, but there's maybe a lack of separation here. So there's a lack of, it's like you see the same people at work you see every day. There may be a little bit of overlap that you're finding quite hard to, again, get space from. And you may be feeling a little bit drained, again, by these relationships. So particularly with females in your life. Now, the Nine of Swords and the Seven of Swords suggest there is a person in your past who has cheated you out of something or lied to you about something. And I feel like those potential issues may be coming through in your relationships now because of the Mercury retrograde period. Sometimes people do come back from the past, or memories come back which you hadn't surfaced. So you may be having quite a few funny dreams or upsetting nightmares is what I'm thinking here. If you thought you'd maybe left a situation behind, could it be possible that it's coming up in your sleep? Could it be possible that it's coming up in your relationships now, something that you thought you'd got over but you actually haven't? Or it could be that this person's making an appearance. I feel like you really tried to rebuild yourself back up from this particular relationship, because with the Three of Swords here, it's a heartbreak of sorts. Three of Swords generally indicates a heartbreak, something that really hurt you, really upset you. And with the Eight of Pentacles, it's picking up the pieces is what I'm thinking here. So you've done that part of your life and you're sort of thinking, well, why would I have concerns now when I've closed that chapter? But Ace of Swords and the Four of Pentacles here suggest that you need to be a little bit more forthcoming on what it is you're telling people, okay? So you need to be a little bit more forthcoming in your emotional expectation. Well, if you're expecting things from others, you have to make it kind of clear that you are. You need to be a bit more direct in what it is that you're actually holding close to your chest. It suggests to me here that the pain and the things that you've suppressed haven't been properly communicated. You need to get something off your chest that's not been said, and it's manifesting itself in your dreams. It's manifesting yourself in your day-to-day life, your relationships. You may feel with the Mars energy, the Saturn energy, because certainly Saturn in your sign is all to do with learning lessons that you haven't quite learned yet. It's quite a hard transit for people, but with it in your ruler and it being your ruler, you're very strong as it is, Capricorn, but you do have some things that you've probably kept to yourself. And I feel like there's going to be a big conversation of that coming out. It's kind of an expose energy. There's things that have been hidden that are going to be revealed. This is not necessarily a bad thing. I actually feel like this comes from you. Okay, so I feel like this is you changing up the way you're living in general. The Judgment card is generally what I like to think of as an overhaul. So it's changing the way you approach your relationships. It's changing the way you approach yourself. And it starts with taking some time out. So I feel like for some of you, you're going on a small vacation, like traveling for a little while, and something big comes out of it. So a big communication, a big conversation, a big decision. Okay, so Moon, yeah, there's something that definitely hasn't been revealed. You may be dealing with a Scorpio person that has it hasn't told you everything. There's the Page of Cups and the Ace of Cups. It's like a romantic energy for some of you that are involved with a Scorpio. Scorpio's not been entirely forthcoming. Not for a negative reason, I'm not getting, but they're definitely holding back something or something you don't know. It can be a Scorpio or it can be a Pisces. It may also be that you're dealing with someone who, it's like something needs to end in order for something else to be refreshed. Okay, so the Death card and the Moon card means you need to end a particular saga. As I said, it could be a Scorpio or it could be a Pisces. There may need to be Judgment here. You may need to call time in this particular relationship because the Moon and Death card can sometimes be a little bit it's like the cycles of the moon with this person. So 1 minute they're telling you everything, you know, like when the moon's full, like very exposed, very open, and then suddenly with the new moon they disappear. Sometimes it seems like it's waning away and then all of a sudden it's waxing back up. So I feel like this person's kind of like the phases of the moon, and I feel like it's causing you problems. Like it's causing you a little bit of grief, it's causing you anxiety, and it's definitely stopping a progression in your life that's a bit overdue at this point because of this person. Hopes and fears, Six of Cups. So some of you are definitely hoping for a romantic reunion with someone from the past. I feel like this Emperor represents the Mercury retrograde period in Aries. Emperor's Aries. Someone returning from the past to have a conversation, reuniting with old friends, reuniting with old family. I feel like you're hoping for a reunion in some spots. Now we have the Sun here. So either some of you are physically traveling to sunnier destinations, or some of you are finding warmth where there once was coldness, okay? So the Five of Pentacles is a very cold energy. It's when people keep you out in the cold. It's when people keep you out of the loop. And the Sun card, exact opposite. It's when your relationships grow warmer, you grow more attached to people, you grow more affectionate with people. Temperance is finding balance, okay? So it's finding common ground in relationships that were maybe struggling. So I feel like this month for you is all about picking up the pieces and building fences. You know, particularly with people that I feel like have possibly wronged you. There's a woman coming through here. If this isn't you, it's a female earth sign that's coming through as someone that's wronged you and you're trying to like rebuild something here. I feel like possibly a communication has to happen with a female relationship. Potentially another earth sign where things were a little bit fractured. Things were a little bit wrong. I feel like you definitely are picking up pieces with somebody in your life. And I feel like this is more friendship or family than a romantic relationship, but someone that wronged you specifically, I feel like is coming through here. Someone that wronged you and you're having like a rebuilding of things, because it looks like someone was kind of sneaky, and it made you feel isolated, particularly in a group setting. So that's Scorpio retrograde energy, group settings, and then we have, you know, Mars in your sign. So it's like you want to confront somebody about it, but the better way to go around it is to talk it through calmly and get sort of a closure thing. Like get a closure here. You want to charge forward and you want to stand your ground, but you may end up doing damage that you're not actually at the minute in a position to pick up the pieces from. You know, when Saturn's in your sign, it can teach you things and it can remove people from your life, but it's not really a time for conflict because you feel drained with it sometimes. And with all the Aries energy, you can definitely feel drained about it. I mean, think of the end of the month when all the Aries signs are sailing, and I say sailing because this is such smoother energy. We're sailing into Taurus, fellow earth sign. You'll suddenly feel a lot more rejuvenated. You'll feel finally like it's spring, but at the minute you have a few hiccups, okay? So Capricorn, let's say Knight of Swords. Yeah, there's a message here not to rush things. If you're traveling during a Mercury retrograde period, do expect some delays in travel because the Knight of Wands is coming up here crossing you. Three of Wands, Four of Cups. Yeah, do you know what? I can see an apology coming through for you, Capricorn. It's not good enough. It's like you get this apology and you want to challenge it, as I say. You want to challenge it and you want to be like, but you should have done this, and but you should have done that. Wheel of Fortune. You're better just rolling with it. You're better just going along with this and seeing what happens, because great things can come out of bad circumstances, you know. Nine of Pentacles. Yeah. Feeling that this is that Taurus energy coming through at the end of the month when all the signs are moving into Taurus. Feeling a lot more comfortable. Releasing ghosts. With the Judgment card in Aries, I feel like there's a lot of competition and conflict going on with that particular placement. Now there is a romantic interest coming through for you guys that is coming across as a little bit obsessive. This is your card, so it may mean you're feeling this way about somebody new. I'm getting like definitely with these surrounding cards, I'm getting a water sign person. that is a bit toxic, right? So they kind of come through as that moon cycle thing that I'm saying. And some of you could be losing particular hope over that situation. But there's a connection to this person that you feel is kind of like fate, like you feel like they're meant to be in your life, you feel like they're meant to be around. It's an interesting energy because it's very romantic, it's kind of obsessive, and then there's secrets, and then there's an ending, and then there's, like, this is literally a relationship that's gone through every emotion possible, every feeling possible, someone that has made you feel everything and more so, and that can be a little bit exhausting for you guys. So the Two of Cups here, romantic reunion with a sweetheart is definitely, and Temperance again. It's a lovely month for you, Capricorn, towards the end of it. I mean, you know, it starts off tricky with that Aries energy, a bit of hermit, a bit of introspection, looking inward for answers, and then it comes out full circle where you have Temperance, you have the Sun, you know, the Six of Cups, Two of Cups. There's a romantic reunion going on here. So some of you may be dealing with someone from the past you've not seen in a while, romantic wise, where it suddenly takes off and it's great and it's happy. Some of you are reconnecting with someone. Some of you are traveling, going on holiday and getting a little bit more perspective, a little bit more balance. It's almost like where you are feeling a little bit underappreciated, you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, and you're feeling a little bit left out in the cold, okay? So you go from that and you go where you're wanted. So it's like you've moved from this sort of feeling like people are getting at you and feeling a little bit like you need a break, and then you get, you know, you go where you're wanted, you get a fresh perspective, you get a fresh outlook on things. The end of the month looks incredibly positive. If you're looking at people, you know, love coming in, there's warm energy, there's finding balance between yourself and say you have a partner that's quite different to you, there's finding a balance there, there's finding an ease in communication. There's definitely good things coming through. You're definitely going to be escaping from your troubles anyway. By the end of the month, you're going to be feeling a lot more fresh and a lot more excited, and it looks like a really positive month, Capricorn. Albeit it has its challenges, as every Mars and Saturn cycle do. We also have Pluto in your sign, so there's quite a few heavy planets going on. So breathe and be a bit easy on yourself. Take care of yourself first and foremost. Don't overdo it, and don't put yourself at risks of injuries. Look after your health first and foremost, and look after your mental health, because you definitely get a shift in perspective that makes you feel a lot more positive, a lot more uplifted. And I feel like this is the signs transitioning into fellow Earth sign Taurus. You get a lot more comfort and a lot more ease. You know, May is going to be an incredibly positive and fruitful month for you. But that's not to say April's not. April just sort of ticks off the boxes before you move forward. So I hope you enjoyed that reading, Capricorn, and I will talk to you in May. Bye bye.